2024 Nissan X-Trail and 2024 Peugeot 2008 are both compact SUVs that offer a good blend of practicality, comfort, and features. However, they cater to slightly different needs. Here's a side-by-side comparison to help you decide which one is right for you. Size and passenger/cargo space. The X-Trail is a larger SUV with more passenger and cargo space. It can seat up to 7 passengers, while the 2008 is a 5-seater. The X-Trail also has more cargo space behind the rear seats and with the seats folded down. Engine performance. The X-Trail offers a choice of 2 4-cylinder engines, a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated engine and a 2.0-liter turbocharged engine with a hybrid system. The 2008 comes with a 1.2-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. The X-Trail with the hybrid engine delivers better fuel economy, while the 2.0-liter turbo offers more power. The 2008 is peppier but less fuel efficient. Interior features. The X-Trail's interior is roomy and comfortable, with plenty of space for passengers and cargo. The 2008 has a more stylish and upscale interior, with a driver-focused cockpit and high-quality materials. Both SUVs come standard with a good amount of features, including a touchscreen infotainment system, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a variety of driver assistance features. Price. The X-Trail is expected to start around $25,000, while the 2008 is expected to start around $23,000. The exact pricing will vary depending on the trim level and options you choose. Overall, the Nissan X-Trail is a good choice for those who need a spacious and practical SUV with a fuel-efficient hybrid option. The Peugeot 2008 is a good choice for those who want a stylish and upscale SUV with a peppy engine. Here's a quick table summary. Feature: Nissan X-Trail. Size: larger. Passenger capacity: up to 7. Cargo space: more. Engine: 2.5L i4, 2.0L turbo i4 hybrid. Fuel economy: better with hybrid. Interior: roomy and comfortable. Price: starts around $25,000. Feature: Peugeot 2008. C. Passenger capacity: 5. Cargo space: less. Engine: 1.2L turbo i3. Fuel economy: less fuel efficient. Interior: stylish and upscale. Price: starts around $23,000. As large SUVs go, the X-Trail is a spacious, comfortable and quiet cruiser, with the option of 7 seats. The e-Power hybrid system brings smooth driving manners, if not miraculous fuel economy figures. The main issue is that for similar money there are plenty of rivals that are better at being a 7-seat SUV, offering even more space and versatility. Peugeot's smallest SUV offering, the 2008, has been around since 2019 now, and so it's time for a midlife model facelift. But while the standard bearer 2008 electric model has a bigger battery, more power, and greater one-shot driving range, and there's a new mild hybrid 48-volt drivetrain heading to the lineup for 2024, the purely petrol models continue largely unchanged in the technical department. So is that a wise decision by Peugeot, or a risky tactic that might look like conservative stagnation in an ever-changing and hugely competitive sector of the market? You can have your Nissan X-Trail in 2 different flavors, the first of which is a mild hybrid. That version, badged the VC Turbo, gets its power from a 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol engine and a small electric motor to boost efficiency. With 161 brake horsepower, there's enough grunt for normal driving, but it needs working quite hard if you're in a hurry and, in part because of a hesitant gearbox, it generally feels a bit labored and jittery in its power delivery. Then there's the e-Power engine, which sits somewhere between the world of normal cars and electric cars. It has a 1.5-liter turbocharged petrol engine that never interacts with the front wheels directly. Instead, the engine charges a battery which then powers a 201 brake horsepower electric motor on the front axle. Because it mostly feels like an electric car when you drive it, it's significantly smoother and more pleasant than the mild hybrid VC Turbo. We think that e-Power version is punchy enough, but there's also a more powerful 4-wheel drive version. The e-Power E4 has 2 electric motors, one for each axle, and 210 brake horsepower. It's the most powerful X-Trail, and managed to sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6.9 seconds in our tests. While it never feels all that fast, the accelerator pedal is more responsive than in its hybrid car rivals, and it's more eager to pick up speed from stationary, with plenty of oomph for motorways. Peugeot has kept the long-serving 1.2-liter 3-cylinder PureTech turbocharged petrol in service for the 2008 family, even though the French company is increasingly tipping the drivetrain balance of the entire range in favor of electric propulsion. So, as we said up top, these midlife updates for the 2008 include the announcement of a non-plug-in petrol-electric model slated for early next year, as well as more significant powertrain upgrades for the zero-emission E2008. That leaves the 1.2 PureTech as the only form of motive power which is plodding along unchanged, so it comes in basic 101 horsepower per 205 Nm format, with a 6-speed manual only, or is this punchier 131 horsepower per 230 Nm variant, which can be had with either the manual transmission or the group's familiar E8 automatic unit, 8 speeds, natch, given that alphanumeric branding. Power goes to the front wheels and, in the automatic version, you'll get around 45 miles per gallon from it on the combined cycle if you're a gentle driver, and 0 to 62 miles per hour in 9.1 seconds if you're not. Thankfully, this remains a thoroughly amenable drivetrain combo. The 131 horsepower 1.2 is plenty enough engine for this size of crossover, mainly because the PureTech is a good 300 kilograms lighter than the E2008 and so is actually not a heavy vehicle at all, tipping in at the 1.2-ton mark, give or take 5 kilograms. With its pleasing little background growl when you rev it out and the smooth ministrations of the 8-speed box, either eliciting a lick of backroad pace or just ambling smoothly around town prove to be no bother at all to the PureTech. And even if you drive it in a spirited manner, it remains decent on fuel economy, so you shouldn't ruin your wallet if you decide to test out Peugeot's claims to being the sporty mark in the Stellantis megastable. Interior. All trim levels of the Nissan-X-Trail have a height-adjustable driver's seat, as well as reach and rake adjustment for the steering wheel. Adjustable lumbar support for the driver is standard from second-rung Ascenta Premium trim up, while Tecna and Tecna Plus come with electronically adjustable front seats with memory function. The dashboard is clear and logically laid out, with controls placed within easy reach. The buttons and switches are all large and easy to operate while you're driving, as well as positive and precise in their actions. While many cars have done away with physical controls for their aircon systems, we like that the X-Trail comes with proper buttons and rotary controllers. They're far more user-friendly on the move than having to search through multiple menus on the touchscreen infotainment system. As outside, so within. The iCockpit layout is retained in the 2008, which means a small, low-set steering wheel and a high-set instrument binnacle, the latter rating 10 inches in size and now sporting fresh, sharpened graphics with greater configurability. All models now also get a central 10-inch touchscreen for the infotainment, again with updated software, while a smattering of new trim and upholstery choices are made available to customers. Again, if it ain't broke, as they say. Handling. As with most big SUVs and 7-seaters, the X-Trail wasn't designed for driving thrills, and that shows on a twisty road. Body control is slightly better than in the Santa Fe, but the light, slow steering makes it a bit more tricky to place on the road. If you decide to go for a spirited drive, it's not hard to find the limits of grip, and it doesn't take much use of the accelerator pedal to make the front end push wide. If handling is important to you, we'd definitely turn your attention elsewhere. Specifically, we'd point you towards the CX-60 or Kodiaq. More good news here, this is our favorite 2008 to drive. The E2008 is fine enough, sure, and it's very cultured thanks to its lack of a combustion engine. But it never feels particularly lively or playful, mainly down to that aforementioned chunky curb weight somewhat blunting its robust 260 Nm of torque, a figure 30 Nm in advance of this PureTech version. The petrol pug, however, is a little hoot. While we're not about to confer unusually shaped warm hatch status on it just yet, we will say that this is a crossover with a good degree of light and shade between its eco, normal and sport drive settings, with the steering in particular taking on more weight and even a degree of feel in the last of these modes. Okay, it still has Peugeot's uninspiring paddle shifts, which are mounted to the steering column and for which only the silvery tab bit at the end moves in a lackluster fashion, but otherwise the calibration of the brakes and the suspension allows you to get the 2008 GT into a flowing groove on the right roads, making it feel like it develops considerably more than its 131 horsepower due to the admirable speed it can carry through corners. It's highly civilized as an A to B merchant, though, which is perhaps more important than any scintillating handling. The ride isn't ever quite as pillowy smooth as anything from sister French outfit Citroën, due to the lack of progressive hydraulic cushions in the Peugeot suspension, but by the same token the 2008 petrol is never crashy or uncomfortable. It rides with genial good grace and controls its body well too, especially over lumps and bumps, or if you ask it to go over some speed humps. Good visibility out in all directions and that high seating position only add to its ease of use in its preferred semi-urban driving environment. In short, then, what we're saying is we liked a lot of things about the way the 2008 drives, and we can't think of anything we particularly dislike, which is even more commendable.